I have to figure out how to get my music on here for the Instagram and TikTok live, but we're working on it. Working on it. So, welcome back, Locker Talk, day 3. I'm here. I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. As I said, I got my brackets behind me. I said I was going to do my brackets. And they're behind me. So also, I was running late. I'm also running late because I was watching. Who was playing? Florida, which I think Florida's going to win it all. They didn't win the SEC, but I was watching Florida and Norfolk State. So that's why I'm late. Now I'm watching Marquette, about to mess up my bracket again, in New Mexico and Arizona and Akron. Yeah. Hey, Cherise. So again, I told you I'm doing these live videos because we're going to cut down on the editing because we have so much to do. And we're just going to get to the talking and I'm just going to post it and we're going to get it. Plus, I need to get comfortable with going live anyway. And so, we're doing live, doing better. We're working it out this season. Season's going to be something different. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone here. So I'm live on YouTube. Hey, I'm live on Instagram, and this will also go on TikTok. So good evening, everyone. It's so late. Welcome to Locker Talk. Like I was saying, super big upset. So, the one that I really want to talk about, Drake. Drake beat Mizzou. Now, I had Drake on my board. You probably can't see it. Drake's on the other side. But I had Drake on my board. I knew Drake was going to win. Because I told y'all there's some good conference teams. Drake is one of them. Mizzou was a higher seed, but it's normally like that. Your number 6s tend to lose in the tournament from what I be seeing. Your 7s, 7 and 10, yeah. And then the 8 and 9s are always like neck and neck to me. To me, those are the hardest games because they're just as good as each other. So it's like, how can I really pick this one? Unless it's like Gonzaga and Georgia. I knew that Gonzaga was going to win. I always go with Gonzaga. I don't know. But I feel like some of the teams here, and again, it's so many brackets. I have the female bracket and the male bracket. So it's a lot. It's a lot altogether. It's a lot all at once. So that's why I'm like, I'm not doing all the pre stuff I used to do. I'm not doing it. But I have my regular bracket, which is here. And okay. Each screen looks a little different because this is not mirrored, but this one is. Weird. This is weird. So, you see the one where it says MBB, that one there, that's my regular bracket, the one that I predicted, but I also filled out 3 additional paper brackets. So the brackets are just all over the place. And then I have the one as they go, which I need to mark it up there. The one as they go. So we need to actually add Kentucky because Kentucky just won. We need to add that to the bracket. And I really feel like New Mexico was going to win this game. Second period, 1 minute and 48 seconds left, and they're up by 8. Somebody needs a miracle. Somebody needs a miracle because I don't feel like they're gonna win. And Arizona, as projected on my bracket, is gonna win. So there we go. Yeah. So let's just break down some of the stuff. So far we have Auburn beat Alabama State. Not surprised there. I can't even look up the scores because I'm on my phone. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. It just happens like that. When in Alabama was 16. So when you're the 16th seed, as I said before in our previous videos, and we all know this, if you follow along with Basketball March Madness, when you play the number 1 seed as a 16th seed, it's very rare that the number 1 seed loses. Not saying it's not possible, but it's not likely when you think of the odds of success. So I didn't expect them to win, especially because Auburn is a super duper strong team, period. Right? Okay. Then we had Creighton beat Louisville. I had that on my bracket as well. I thought that Creighton was going to win. For some reason, I just thought that Creighton was just a better team than Louisville. But again, I told you those 8 and 9s are really hard to are really hard to gauge because they're just as good as each other. And even though Louisville did have an edge because they were 27-7, I just felt something in my soul told me that Creighton was going to win. So I did Creighton. Michigan beat UC San Diego. Knew that one. Knew that was going to come. It was a tight game, though. I will give them that. They definitely held their own against Michigan. Michigan was kind of struggling in the second period, but they won anyway. So that's just how it is. Now, I am a little bit surprised because, I mean, not really. So Texas A&M beat Yale, or Yale. If you know, you know. But Texas A&M beat them, but I felt like Yale was going to be a lot more competitive than what they were, and they just weren't. So it's kind of like, okay, all right. But I did not have Yale projected to win. No, I did not. I did not have Yale projected to win on my thing. I did not update this, but Ole Miss beat UNC. I thought that UNC was going to be able to pull it out. I definitely thought they were going to make out that first round. And they did not. They did not. I mean, they barely made it into the tournament. So the fact that they even got to enter the first round out of the first four is like, okay. But I definitely thought that UNC was going to become a good tournament team because usually they are. So whatever. Iowa State won. Again, we're watching Marquette. Oh, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. Okay. Which is going to mess up my bracket because I did have them on there. They're usually a good tournament team. So now they're going to. Yeah, they're really gonna they messed up my bracket real bad. They messed up real bad. It's okay. It is okay. Who else? Like I said, Florida beat Norfolk State. Not surprised there. Norfolk State did play really well, but Florida is just it's so hard to say. Florida is looking like they are going to win it all. Heavy number 1 seed. They looked great in the SEC, and the SEC had 14 teams coming in. So can you just imagine how deep and how good the SEC is this year? So the fact of the matter is they did compete, but it was a very lopsided win. They won, 95-69 or something like that. So it's very lopsided. But that's March Madness for you. That's March Madness. You got to come and compete or whatever. Florida did slow down in their second half. They need to get better at the free throw line because I don't know what was going on. They just was making one, missing one. It just didn't get better. The real upset here for me, though, is Memphis losing to Colorado State. I'm not going to forgive them. I am not forgiving Memphis for losing because I had Memphis at least making it into the second round. As you can look at my bracket, I definitely had Memphis on there. They definitely they definitely are on my poop list. I'm not going to forgive them at all for that. I don't know what happened, guys. And this is what I said. Memphis was 5. Let me hold this up so my mic's not muffled. So Memphis was 5 and Colorado was 12. Right? And it's always like you cannot go into these games playing these lower seeds thinking that they're not going to come with their best. They're going to have their foot on their neck, period. UConn is playing Oklahoma right now. Again, they're on the West Coast, so their time's a little bit faster than ours, so it's going to be late. I'm not going to sit in here the whole time and watch, but y'all know I said I'm going to start doing these lives so we can talk about March Madness. So I can talk about what's boggling me. I do not expect UConn to lose. But the way that it's looking right now, UConn is very much likely to lose to Oklahoma, but I do not have them losing. On my board, they're not losing. So I was just going to hope that they just don't upset me the way that New Mexico just upset Marquette. I think that's how you say it. I never say that school right. But UConn should not lose. Arizona is looking really, really good. 6 minutes, 26 seconds left. They're up 77-53. So they're going to get that. Alabama won. Alabama, Houston, Gonzaga, Purdue, UCLA, Tennessee, BYU are all teams I expected to win. So there's nothing new or exciting there. So this won't be super long with this live. I'm just mad. I'm still mad. I'm just mad that Memphis did this to me. I am mad that Memphis lost today. Like I need to see them. But Arkansas won. St. John's. St. John's looks good. They beat Omaha. Expected that, but St. John's looks good. St. Mary's beat who they beat? Baylor beat Mississippi State. I was rooting for Mississippi State. I always root for Mississippi State. But who did they beat? St. Mary's beat Vanderbilt. I thought Vandy was going to be way better than that. Because the way Vandy played Tennessee, again, I've only watched Vandy when they played SEC teams, and maybe that's my fault. But I definitely thought that Vandy would beat St. Mary's, even though St. Mary's was the higher seed. I definitely thought Vanderbilt was going to win. So I got beef with them too. I got beef with the SEC. Vanderbilt is out for the SEC, so that makes what now 13 teams. Who else with the SEC is out? Somebody else in the SEC is out, but I'm upset. I'm upset with Vanderbilt. I'm upset with Memphis. I'm upset with Texas for the SEC. Yeah, I didn't talk about that. Texas lost to Xavier in the first four. I don't even know how that happened. I don't even know how that even happened. Like, yes, they're as good as each other, but I don't know how that happened. Like, Texas came in, they were 19 and 15. I mean, I guess Xavier they had a better record. They were 21 and 11, but I don't see how that happened. I don't see how Texas lost. It's SEC or die. Like, I don't understand. But yeah, Texas lost. So they initially messed up one of my brackets because I did have them beating Xavier, and I did have them moving on playing Illinois. So that's just, they messed that up. They messed it up real bad. Southern girls are going to play UCLA girls. Ooh. UCLA got a big, and she like that. I cannot remember her name right at this moment, but she's like that. So Southern is going to have some issues on their hands, but they can do it. Norfolk State plays Maryland. I don't think they played already. I'm on my phone, so I can't even check it. Let me see. Let me see if I can check these scores. Trying to keep up with the girls and the boys, it's a lot. South Carolina, the Gamecocks, the women did not have to do Tennessee Tech like that. I'm just saying. Hey, James, did not have to do them like that. They beat them like 140 to like 48 or something like that. 104 or 48 or something like that. It was bad. It was bad. They really laid a hand on them. They ain't have to do that to them. They ain't had to do something like that. Notre Dame won. Already knew that. They got Hidalgo on that team. Already knew that was going to happen. Oh, my Vols is winning, y'all. End of the third, 79-56. I need the women's on TV. So I don't like this. I like YouTube TV for the fact that I can watch all four games at the same time, but I would like to mix and match. I would like to have 2 men's basketball games and 2 women's basketball games because I need to watch both. And I don't have 4 screens. So I need to watch both. But Southern actually they play in Spokane, so their time is back. So they play at 10. They're literally playing in 20 minutes. I'm going to be off of here in 20 minutes, but we're going to send it up for the HBCUs, okay? We're going to send it up for the HBCUs that are going to be playing these very hard teams. But yes, Tennessee Tech lost 108-48. 108-48. They didn't stand a chance. TCU beat Fairleigh Dickinson, which is school from Jersey. So, I was rooting for them on the inside, but I already knew Haley wasn't having that. So they won 73-51. Notre Dame 106-54. Come on. Like, come on. I feel like the women's brackets to me is a little bit easier for me to predict. I did 4 brackets for them, and I was just, we was getting down to it. I feel like either Juju and the crew gonna win, or I feel like South Carolina gonna take it back. It's gonna be one of the two, right? The battle of the real USC. Right. Baylor won, Kentucky won, Ohio State won, K-State won, Ole Miss won, Michigan, Oregon, Louisville, Indiana. Oh, I didn't think Indiana was going to be Utah. That one messed up my bracket. Richmond beat Georgia Tech. All these ones besides Utah, I already knew. I have my women's brackets on the back of this. So yeah, putting in work. I already knew that was going to happen. So yeah, guys, we have a lot. For you, you're right. You're right. I definitely feel like that. The elite, once we get to elite eight for women, that's when it starts to turn up a little bit. The first two rounds, I'm like, yo, what are we talking about? Besides Utah and Indiana, but I felt like again there was one that was 8 and 9. It was neck and neck. So I definitely felt like, okay, one of these teams could pull it out. Utah is usually pretty good. Indiana is usually pretty good. So I just didn't know. But you're right. Once we get to elite eight for the women's, that's when I think it starts to turn up. For men, they start turning up in the first round, as you see. As you see, Clemson went down, like I said yesterday. Marquette just went down. Yeah, they falling like flies over there. Teams that you think are going to do well. Besides, so the Midwest region to me is the easiest to predict. Houston, Gonzaga, again, besides Clemson, Purdue, Illinois, UCLA, Tennessee, easy bracket. Duke won today too. Not surprised. They beat Mount St. Mary's. That wasn't even a fair fight. That wasn't a fair fight. And then in the other bracket, I think the South, where we had Auburn, Creighton, Michigan, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Iowa State. Again, Marquette messed that bracket up for me, but Marquette and then Michigan State, Florida's in the West. But that bracket too is easy for the men. I don't know. I just felt like those two for the men, the Midwest and the South, I had them on lock. Besides one, because Marquette just lost. Had them on lock. The other ones was a little iffy for me. But for the women so far, I'm betting almost 1,000. You got South Carolina winning it all again. See, I feel like they can. I feel like they could have won it. I feel like they can win it every year, but you don't, I understand LSU was fired that one year. I can't even lie. But just like when they beat Iowa and everyone's like, everyone's gonna win. Like, please spare me. So I think that South Carolina can win it all too. I also think that UNC is a really strong team. The only way, I say UNC, USC, the only way that USC does not make it, in my opinion, to at least the Final Four is if UConn just wakes up and just starts wrecking. Because they on the same side of the bracket. They're in Spokane 4. So that's the only way I foresee USC, meaning Southern California with Juju and the crew. The only way I don't see them making it to the Final Four is if UConn wakes up and Paige and the crew over there starts to terrorize. That's the only way I see it. Then they just whip through, and then UConn, I see UConn getting to at least Elite Eight, and it's either going to be UConn or USC, one of the two. And then I feel like USC is going to have a problem meeting UCLA. They beat them 2 times already, and then on the third time UCLA beat them for the tournament champion. So that get back them up, you know that. So I don't know. I think that South Carolina has the easiest route for being in Birmingham too, and I need to go down there and see them when I get there. And then I think that Notre Dame and Texas, even though I love my Rocky Top, but I think Notre Dame and Texas is on a comeback year. So I think that Texas and Notre Dame are going to be the 2 standouts for Birmingham 3. That's just my opinion. That's just what I'm going with. But again, as one of my fellow people said, we don't start to get to Elite 8 over there. They need to let Juju go to the WNBA. She is ready, but it's just her second year. Like, no, she's not ready to me. She's not ready. Although she's already breaking records. She's doing what needs to be done. I think that she has one of those talents where it's like, wait till you see her in 2 more years when she becomes a senior. What? Juju's going to be wrecking a problem, and I love that. I love that for her. I loved it when it was Aaliyah. I loved, again, when Caitlin Clark was doing it, but also when Angel Reese was doing it. I love the fact that Juju's now doing her thing. I love the fact that we see these standout stars, and we're really starting to put names to faces. But I also love for the Black girls. That's tease. So I think that she's going to be amazing once she gets to year 4. It's not going to be short, but amazing. Yes, I want to come to Birmingham. So when they did Sweet 16 and Elite 8 in South Carolina, I went. And that's when I started doing my initial women's basketball content. So I actually was at the game. I got to feel the vibes. I literally sat I think it was Miami played. I watched South Carolina play. I did watch LSU play. Um, I think I watched like 4 sets of games. So I was there like all day. It's like an all day thing. You know, get your popcorn, get your food, get ready. It's an all day thing. So I was there. So I feel like if I went there, I can go to Birmingham too. I feel like Birmingham is not that far. Is it? I don't know. I'll be going to Birmingham for media day, so I feel like I can go to Birmingham. I just want to be there. I just want to be there, y'all. I just want to be there. Even if I'm sitting in the tickets aren't that pricey either. I got like a $20 ticket when it was in Greenville, South Carolina. I got like a $20 ticket and I was darn near on the floor. They have gotten better, like more popular now. So it may not be $20 to be on the floor, but I got a $20 seat last time and I was on the floor and I got to see Coach Kim Mulkey and part like up front in person when she wore that jacket. I seen Coach Dawn. I like they were so close to me. I was just like, oh my gosh. I'm in heaven. Okay. So yeah. I'm looking at Kenny's bracket right now because if you know Yayo from Kenny, he had UNC on there too. UNC was not supposed to lose today. I don't know what was going on. Yeah. They're going out like flies. They're going out like flies. But I'm just super excited. I was really hoping and waiting for this Arizona and Akron. Y'all know I'll never know how to pronounce those names. So y'all know I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna try to get a credential to the game and say, "Oh, look at you, credential." Ugh, they didn't give me credentials the last time. That's why I bought a ticket. But I think that's amazing. Like, give me a credential. I want to go. You know, this is what I do. I literally am doing this as we speak. Let me go. I'm gonna get off here anyway because I do want to watch Southern. I'm gonna have to like eat my popcorn. And I'm gonna be all into the game. Arizona is kicking tail right now, 93-59. For real. For real. That's crazy. That's crazy. I feel like though, if you do go to Birmingham, I think that's gonna be so amazing. Let me go see again. You'll get to see everybody. You'll get to see South Carolina. You'll see Dawn, Indiana. Again, they didn't play all these things yet. Oh, Coach Carter. Because they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it into that. They're gonna make it to that round. Ooh, you're gonna see Coach Ivy. Oh, I'm jealous. TCU, Haley? Come on now. That's her name, right? Her name Haley. Haley Van Lift. That's her name. It felt right coming out my mouth. It felt right like it was coming out my mouth. So yeah, that's her. So yeah, we gotta update our thing. We gotta update the bracket. Okay. My bracket set. So the new bracket, this new one, we have New Mexico. Messed up my bracket. UConn's playing right now. Did Maryland? I think Maryland beat GCU, right? Is that correct? Somebody help me out here. Drake. Texas Tech did win, but we knew that already. We knew Texas was going to win, so that's Texas Tech, right? Who else? I'm missing somebody. I'm missing UConn's playing right now. I feel like Maryland did win. Kentucky beat Troy. Uh-oh. This bracket looking kind of good over here. Kentucky beat Troy. Arizona is going to win. So we filling that out. You probably can't see me, but you should be able to hear me. And then, did Oregon beat Liberty? Yeah, Maryland won. Okay. So I want to talk about that too. There's so many teams that have doubles in here. So UMD. I feel like Oregon won. I feel like Oregon men won. I don't know. I have to double check that. So I took a screenshot of it on my phone. I don't want to get out the live though. So hold on, y'all. Before I get off of here, let me look at Oregon played tonight. Okay. Cool. So I'm like, did Oregon? Who did they win? I can't go off the top of my head about the schools that have both men and women teams in. I think that's super freaking amazing. Teams with women and men's. I do want to say Rocky Top, Tennessee, women's basketball has now made their 40. This is now, I think, 43. Their 43rd appearance in the tournament. They're on a streak. The only team to have made every appearance in the tournament thus far. You can thank Pat Summitt for that. She started that. Okay. Boom. Before I get off here, teams that have both a women's and a men's team in the tournament, which is so freaking amazing. So this year there's 27 schools that are representing in both tournaments. So like you have Baylor, you have Creighton, you have Duke, Grand Canyon University. So when I say GCU, that's Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon does really good with basketball. Not a school that a lot of people really know about or talk about, though. High Point University, that's in North Carolina. So the fact that High Point men and women did make it is really good. I knew about High Point women's basketball. Iowa State, and Iowa State did, one of their teams won today. So they're doing pretty good. Again, not a team to really hear about. You think about the Iowa Hawkeyes, not Iowa State. Liberty, my alma mater, we have both men and women's. Yeah, put some respect on Liberty's name. Okay. We may not be that good at football, but we be balling out. They may have lost the first round, but it's okay because they made it into the first round. They didn't have to play in the first four. Clock that T. Michigan State, Mississippi State, which I'm surprised because their women's basketball program has come a long way. Norfolk State University, San Diego State, University of Alabama, University of California, University of Connecticut, which is UConn, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisville, Maryland, Michigan, Mississippi, as in Ole Miss, so the University of Mississippi, UNC, Chapel Hill, so both men's and women's. Again, the men already lost. They clocked themselves out. The University of Oklahoma, University of Oregon, University of Tennessee, both the men and women look absolutely great. University of Texas, so Texas men and women, the men are already out. The women are still holding on to that spot, but the women have traditionally been better than the men in basketball for Texas, and Texas football had done great things over the years. And then you had the medical school, Vanderbilt, both their men and their women both made it into the tournament, and I believe they both got knocked out today. But the fact of the matter is they made it into the tournament without having to play in the first four. So the fact that you have those schools representing, especially smaller schools like High Point, San Diego State, Iowa State, even Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is big with their online community, but I don't think that they're big with their like on-campus community. So the fact that the matter is that they even got here is like super amazing. So I did want to highlight that because that's super important. I'm not here just to be yapping. You know, that's what I be doing. I be yapping. I've been yapping for 27 minutes and 52 seconds as we speak. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here to yap. It's locker talk. We talking. I'm going to get me a locker to put it in here somewhere. But I don't just like to yap. I like to come and have some facts too. I want to talk about stories that mean something. Talk about the upsets with March Madness. Talk about just things that really matter because it's March Madness time. It's one of the best times of the year. Okay. And I'm trying to be committed to being back in front of the camera because I took a long break and everybody kept asking me and telling me when you're coming back. So I'm back here now, and this is what we're gonna do. Whether you watch it or not, I'm still gonna be up here yapping. So it don't matter to me. I'm over that. Like, oh, people not watching me. I don't care. I don't care. I'm putting it up anyway. But that's wrapping it up because I need to go get prepared to watch Southern and UCLA, and then I have to watch Oregon and Liberty. Yeah, we're going to watch Liberty. And then I got to finish out UConn and Oklahoma. So March Madness does go by fast. For me, it's super duper fast watching men and women, but it's just like it's because it's crammed. It's literally one and done. You either win or you lose and you move on. So by the time April 6th get here, we'll have a champion for men and we'll have a champion for women. Wait. April 7th. April 7th is for the men. April 6th is for the women. So it does go by really, really fast, but it also gets me kickstarted because after that, I go into the NFL draft. So I don't, that's why I took a break because once March Madness comes around, I don't have a break. I don't take a break. Xavier started to play Illinois right now. I keep saying Xavier, however you say it, y'all. I like to pronounce every syllable in the word, but yeah. So thanks for joining me and being here while I just yap along. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing on all social media platforms at PG Love Sports. I'll be here probably not at the same time tomorrow. I probably need to be more consistent with the times I'll be on here. But once I watch the games and I figure out what's going on, we have more women action tomorrow. The second round for the men's doesn't start until the 22nd. What's today? That's tomorrow, child. That's tomorrow. So I'll be here. I'll be here. Illinois should win. Yes, they should. Like, but Texas should have won. Texas should have beat Xavier, and they didn't beat them. So I don't know. James, join me tomorrow so we can continue to talk about this. The only person that needs to be talking to me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It's March and it's madness and it's March. Also, it's also March magic. Okay, think about it. So yeah, I'm getting off now. Games are starting. The late night games are starting over there from Washington and Spokane, wherever else they are. So thanks again for tuning in with me, for watching with me. I can't wait to see y'all. I'm going to try to get on here tomorrow, maybe a little bit earlier. So I have the updates for these late games. But again, make sure to like and share and subscribing to all the social media platforms at PG Love Sports. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye. Clearly, I didn't end the live over here. Bye once again.